Simon Cowell shocked by Filipino singer from Quezon City guaranteed hit on AGT 2025. The lights of Los Angeles seemed to shimmer brighter that night, as if they knew something extraordinary was about to happen. Backstage at America's Got Talent 2025, a young Filipino man named Rafa Cruz, 22, stood trembling behind the curtain. His calloused fingers clutched the microphone like a lifeline. He wasn't just here to sing, he was here to survive, to honor a promise, and to prove that even from the crowded streets of Quezon City, dreams could soar beyond the skyline. Just months earlier, Rafa had been singing at jeepney stops and small cafes around Metro Manila, earning a few pesos to help his sick mother. He used to joke with her, "Ma, one day, I'll sing for the world, and Simon Cowell will say I'm the best." She'd laugh weakly, her hand on his cheek, whispering, "Then sing from your heart, Anak. That's all the world needs." But 2 weeks before his AGT audition email arrived, his mother passed away, her dream for him becoming the last thing she ever spoke about. Now, standing under the blinding lights of the Dolby Theater, Rafa felt that memory burning in his chest. His heart raced as Simon Cowell glanced up from his notes, the familiar mix of curiosity and skepticism on his face. "So, who are you, and what brings you here?" Simon asked. "I'm Rafael Cruz from Quezon City, Philippines," Rafa replied softly, his accent thick but proud. "I'm here to sing, for my mom." The room went silent. He took a deep breath and started to sing, "You Raise Me Up." His voice was soft at first, trembling, almost fragile, but as the melody grew, so did his strength. Every note carried the ache of a son who'd lost everything yet refused to give up. His voice soared, pure and raw, filling the theater with an emotion that silenced even the whisper of the audience's breath. Halfway through the song, the unexpected happened. Rafa's voice cracked. The crowd gasped, but instead of faltering, he closed his eyes, steadied himself, and whispered, "This one's for you, Ma." Then, like something divine had touched him, he began again, stronger, richer, every note bursting with pain, hope, and love intertwined. By the final chorus, tears streamed down his face, and Simon Cowell's. The famously stoic judge wiped his eyes, visibly shaken. When Rafa finished, the room erupted. People stood, clapping, cheering, crying. Even Heidi Klum had her hands over her heart. Simon leaned forward, his voice trembling. "Rafa," he said slowly, "I've judged this show for over 2 decades. I've heard thousands of singers. But what you did, that wasn't just singing. That was your soul speaking. That was truth." The audience roared as Simon stood up, and slammed the golden buzzer. Gold confetti rained down from the ceiling as Rafa fell to his knees, sobbing. He lifted his hands toward the sky, whispering, "We did it, Ma. We did it." In that moment, every person in the theater felt something bigger than a performance. They saw a son's love conquer grief, a dream rise from poverty, and the proof that talent knows no borders. Backstage, as the crew congratulated him, a young janitor, another Filipino immigrant, approached Rafa, his eyes misty. "You made us proud, Kabayan," he said, placing a hand over his heart. "You reminded me why I came here, for hope." Rafa hugged him, realizing how his song had become something more than music. It was a bridge between people, a voice for everyone who'd ever felt small or forgotten. In the following weeks, Rafa's performance went viral, millions of views, news outlets across the world sharing his story. People from different countries wrote to him, saying his song helped them cope with loss, loneliness, and pain. A foundation in Los Angeles even offered to sponsor young musicians from the Philippines in his honor. But Rafa didn't chase fame. He used his platform to raise money for street children's music programs in Quezon City, saying, "Talent is a gift, but sharing it is the true purpose." When he returned home months later, he visited his mother's grave. The sun was setting over the Manila skyline, the air warm with summer light. Rafa knelt beside the stone, placed a single golden flower, shaped like a tiny buzzer, and whispered, "You were right, Ma." Singing from the heart was all the world needed. The wind brushed against his face as if answering him, gentle and proud. That night, the stars over Quezon City shone a little brighter, echoing his mother's words, and his song, across the ocean. Because sometimes, the greatest standing ovation doesn't come from the crowd. It comes from heaven. And as Simon Cowell later said in an interview, still shaking his head in disbelief, that boy from Quezon City reminded me why this show exists, to find voices that don't just perform, they heal. The world didn't just see a Filipino singer. They saw the power of love, loss, and resilience, the universal melody that makes us all human. And that's how one voice from the streets of Quezon City turned grief into gold, and sang hope into the world.